Coming up this time, a dressing room dressing down.
I used to get rollocked at half-time, and I used to think I was playing well. And the half-time team talk was me getting slaughtered by, "You're useless, why did we sign you, blah, blah, blah." Some of the things that were passed on weren't very nice.
You didn't feel you could speak back or talk back to them?
I had my say.
Yeah.
You know, you may as well stick up for yourself.
The disappointment of being left out of a major cup final.
I was told by the manager that if I proved myself fit, I would play. When we went out for the match, and prior to the match we walked around the stadium, as we were walking around the stadium, he said, "Oh, let's stop and have a little chat. By the way, you're not playing." And that was it. Yeah, I made it perfectly plain. And obviously the following season, he got rid of me straight away.
There's also a flashback to a magazine feature from 1980. Most difficult opponent? Who?
Billy Bremner. Who else at Leeds at the time? No, go on in.
Yeah, well actually, Viv Anderson in 5-a-side games at Forest.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Superb, yeah.
Yeah.
Viv, yeah.
Hi, it's Viv Anderson. You're listening to the Green Jumper podcast.
Plus, you'll hear many more special memories of what it was like working with the Miracle Manager.
Everything he was telling you was truthful. The things he said to you to make you possibly a better player or whatever, they always came to fruition.
I did my homework last night and I put a Nottingham Forest tape on and I watched Archie Gemmill and I didn't know he was that good. And I watched this tape of various matches and he kept winning winning the ball, he kept running 45 yards, he kept scoring the odd goal. I never remember him scoring actually. And he kept doing everything. I thought, blow me, you were worth another £5 a week.
Hi, it's Tony Woodcock here. You're listening to the Green Jumper Pod with Marcus Alton.
For this episode, I've come to a sports club in the East Midlands to meet my guest, a former Scottish international who Brian Clough included in one of his all-time first 11 dream teams. It's hello to Archie Gemmill.
Hello there.
Brian famously signed you for Derby after staying the night at your house because I think you said you'd sleep on it at the time. Yeah. What was it like waking up to find Brian Clough still in the house and eating breakfast?
Obviously it was strange, but over the years there was a lot of strange things happened. But I was glad at the end of the day that I did it because I went to join a good team. We won some trophies. So it was, all in all, not bad.
A good decision. Yeah. Well, you were on the verge of signing for Everton, I think, at the time. What was it that sort of persuaded you to go with Brian Clough?
Well, I was led to believe from, obviously, Mr. Clough at the time. He said if I went to Everton, I would be just one of whatever. He says, but if you sign for me, you play Saturday.
And that was all you needed to hear?
That was it, yeah.
He once described your signing as one of the best transfers he'd ever made.
He's a good judge.
He's a good judge. How did he get the best out of you personally?
What I think everybody liked about him was that everything he was telling you was truthful. You know, if you didn't play well, you were told. If you did play well, you were told. So the things he said to you to make you possibly a better player or whatever, they always came to fruition. Because number of times when I was at Derby, when I started, I used to get rollocked at half-time and I used to think I was playing well. But he always said to me, if he didn't stay on top of me, I wouldn't become what I thought I was then at the time.
Yes, he wanted to keep you on your toes,
yes.
Basically, yes. I was speaking to Alan Hinton on a previous podcast and he was singing your praises from those Derby days. He said, you would cover every blade of grass, so skillful. One time, I think your boot came off in the mud. You stopped, put it back on, and carried on running.
Yeah.
But he said one thing that was interesting. You probably played better when you were maybe riled by something. And he said Clough and Taylor would probably think to themselves, how can we make Archie really angry today? Did you see that side of it?
Well, not particularly at the time, but on occasions I thought I'd played well at half-time, up at half-time, and the half-time team talk was me getting slaughtered by, you're useless, why did we sign you, blah, blah, blah. And it gave me a little bit more, which I didn't think it needed, because some of the things that were passed on weren't very nice.
No,
but
no. You didn't feel you could sort of speak back or talk back to them?
I had my say.
Yeah.
You may as well stick up for yourself.
Yeah.
So that they would say I was absolutely useless, and I would say something like, well, what game are you watching, And we had a lot of good times, but you had to take the now and again.
Yeah. In a way, I think, from what I've heard, sometimes he liked people having a go back and sticking up for themselves.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Because, well, that's you've got to do. If you feel that you have done well, then you've got to stand up for yourself.
Yeah. You then joined him at Forest, of course, and that wonderful breakaway goal against Arsenal was goal of the season, which you started and finished. And I remember watching that at the time and thinking, wow, that was tremendous. Obviously, you scored a fantastic goal in the World Cup, 1978. That solo sort of dribbling goal. That was wonderful. That gets repeated a lot. What was your favourite goal overall?
To be fair, I never scored a lot of goals in my career. I think if I look back on my career, that would have been one of the things that sticks out, that per game, my goal ratio was pretty poor. In fact, it was crap. It would have been nice if I'd scored something like 130, 140 goals, something like that in my career. I think I only got about 50 or something like that. So, from that point of view, not scoring goals would be the thing that would dampen me a little bit.
You're being hard on yourself again, though, aren't you? I mean, the goals that you scored were, some of them were just amazing. They still live in the memory today.
Yeah, they just happen now and again. I think if you're a scoring midfield player, you should be able to get into 50, 60 over your career.
But as a midfield player, you had a special role as well, and I'm thinking maybe in that second leg against Liverpool in the European Cup first round.
Yeah.
And you had specific instructions there, didn't you?
Yeah. I had to play, I played wide right, and I was told to obviously help the full-back at the time, and that was my job for the 90 minutes. Simple as that.
Yes, you sort of tucked in front of Viv, and that really was a key tactic, really, that kept it goalless, and that's what Forest needed at the time.
At the time, yeah. But I say I was told where to play and what I had to do. It was as simple as that. So I think in most people's careers, you'll find that you've got to do a thing that don't particularly suit you, but you do it for the club.
For the team, yeah. Now, I'm sorry to bring this up, but obviously the European Cup final, you weren't selected. How down were you about it, and are you still?
Oh, no, you got to go on with things, but the only thing that bothered me was that I was told by the manager that if I proved myself fit, I would play. Well, I played 45 minutes for the reserves, no problem. So that was the only thing that upset me, was that I'd been told, because everything I'd done prior, everything he said to me always came to fruition. And this time I was told, prove you're fit, you play. And when we went out for the match, and prior to the match, we walked around the stadium. As we were walking around the stadium, he said, "Right, let's stop and have a little chat. By the way, you're not playing." And that was it.
And there were some strong words said, I guess, at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he always ended up having the final say, because I think you'll know when I got back to the hotel, I had to go up and clean his room. You just got to bite the bullet. But I made it perfectly plain. And obviously the following season, he got rid of me straight away.
Yeah. And I understand, in retirement you used to go and see him and talk in the garden, and it would still be something that you would talk about, and again he would have the final word.
Oh God, yeah. He always had a final word in it. But he was, obviously a terrific manager, and he was basically a very nice person, but he was ever so strong-willed and strong-minded to do what he thought was the correct thing. And I think you've got to credit that for him, because he was a fantastic manager and he could get the best out of every player. He could see things in players, or Peter could see things in players, and he brought it out.
You mentioned you were sold to Birmingham, and I've got a copy of Shoot magazine from 1980 here, and there's a letter which says it is quite critical of Clough and Taylor at the time for some of their transfer dealings, and one's about Ian Bowyer going. You're also mentioned, and it says his departure from Forest reminds me of when Clough and Taylor sold Archie Gemmill, which was another bad mistake, and I think Forest fans will miss the creative and experienced play. And if you look at the bottom of that, it says Marcus Alton, Loudham, and that's me.
All right. That's a long time ago.
That's a long time ago, and I was very proud to have that letter published. But I wanted you to see that because you were missed.
Yeah, as I say, it was just one of these things. Went to Birmingham with Jim Smith, character in himself.
Yes.
I can't say I particularly enjoyed it. It was a reasonable long way to travel, where I'd been at Nottingham and in Derby, which is just next door.
Yes.
But no, I went there and it never really worked out. I was quite happy to get away.
Also, talking of Shoot, I've got a profile picture, an article of you. It says focus on Archie Gemmill, and it's sort of question and answers of various things. Favourite player, favourite singer, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Can you remember what you might have said? Favourite player at the time?
At the time, it would have been Jim Baxter.
Jim Baxter?
Yeah, Jim.
Yeah.
I played against him.
Did you?
When I was at St Mirren, yeah.
Ah, that was it then.
Yeah, Jim, yeah.
And most difficult opponent? Who?
Billy Bremner. Oh. Yeah, and who else at Leeds at the time? No, go on in.
Yeah, well actually, Viv Anderson in 5-a-side games at Forest.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Superb, yeah.
Yeah.
Viv, yeah.
Yeah. Now, this is an interesting one. Biggest thrill, it said being asked to play in Pele's testimonial for the New York Cosmos.
Yeah.
And then, can you guess what biggest disappointment was?
Biggest disappointment, what would that be?
It's connected with that Pele testimonial.
Oh, yeah, Cloughie wouldn't let us go, wasn't he?
Yeah, it says being refused permission to play in the above game.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
He said we couldn't go.
Another thing you had to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just another one, your favourite TV shows. Now, one of them you've named is legendary comedy programme. You probably still watch it on those old channels.
Well, I wouldn't know, no.
No?
That long ago.
Fawlty Towers.
Fawlty, God, yeah. Actually, they made they found another one, haven't they?
Yes.
Didn't they, yeah.
And your other ones are sports programmes and documentaries.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I do like documentaries because just how other people live, just seeing, I enjoy them.
And when you teamed up with Brian again at Forest as a coach, I think he considered you quite a confidant, really, because I remember him saying in an interview, you know, when things were going badly, he'd turn to you and say, what we're going to do? And you'd say, we're going to close ranks. And did you feel Brian took you into his confidence like that?
No, I think he appreciated the prior years, you know, the playing for him and whatever. And because he was going to take me back to Forest, which he did. Then he says I was going to be coach of the 16s, and that was obviously the start of that. And I built up a little bit because the youth teams did well. There were young players came through for the youth team, and I think I'm not saying impressed Cloughie at the time, but I think he appreciated it. And I started then. I helped lay him out, and we did pretty well. It was just unfortunate that the Brian, he was a little bit worse for wear towards the end, which I think was hard for everybody to take.
Yes.
If he had sort of finished as he started, it would have been great.
Yeah.
But obviously he struggled.
And you went on the pitch in the FA Cup final just before extra time when people were expecting him to go on the pitch.
Yeah.
Well, did that surprise you?
Well, once again, I was told to go on.
You did what you said.
Yeah. But really, anything that was said was straightforward that he would have said anyway, you know, because I'd played under him and I'd been a coach under him for a long time, and I knew what was coming.
In this profile, it says, let me see, biggest influence on career, and even though you'd gone to Birmingham, your answer is Brian Clough. How will you remember him?
Well, I remember him as a terrific person, first and foremost. People see him as a big head or a loud mouth or whatever you want to call it that. He had great belief in his own ability, and he proved it to everybody. And he could bring a very average player to become a special player. He had a fantastic way of making people better, and it helped no end of people as well. Out of football, he would go and visit old days pensioners at the time and whatever, and do things for people that went by. And you know, if you asked many people about him, what do you think? They'll say, yeah, great manager, but they don't tell the other half of him, because he did an awful lot for charity.
And you saw the softer side of him, really, and you think you became a friend?
Oh, I don't think anybody's ever a friend. I was a person.
He liked your company, though.
Yeah.
He liked your company.
Yeah.
Archie Gemmill, thanks ever so much for talking to us and for the podcast, and it's been an absolute pleasure.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Some wonderful memories there from Archie Gemmill, and you can read more about our chat in my new book, Brian Clough, The Lost Tapes. It's my 5th Cloughie book, again helping to raise money for good causes. And in my humble opinion, I think it's the best yet. It all stems from when I was having a sort out at home during the pandemic and uncovered an absolute treasure trove of Cloughie recordings. And they'd really just been gathering dust. I've spent hours and hours listening through to them on old cassette tapes and mini discs and curating their wonderful content. Many of the stories and Cloughie quotes are in print for the first time. There's more information on brianclough.com, where you'll also be able to buy signed copies. Just let me know who you'd like it signed to and I'll sort that out. In the meantime, I'll be back with another podcast interview very soon, when we'll look back at more great stories of the miracle manager in the green jumper.